everyone, I am Undead Horde and welcome back to my channel. And in today's video, we are gearing up to look at day 83, baby. That's right, we did miss day 82. I will explain why in a little bit. I do apologize, but there's a reason. I think it's a good reason to me. So, you know, that's a thing. But we're getting into this one first. We got ourselves some fun stuff to do. And some stuff to look at. I have done a little bit of work, and I want to point it out to y'all and have a good time. I will say this right now. I do have food cooking air fryer. I do not believe the mic can pick it up at all. But if it can and you do hear the noise, I do apologize. I am hungry. It is 11:45 at night that I am recording this. And I'm going to want to eat immediately when I'm done recording it. And so I might as well get my food going because these should both end at about the same time. So with that being said, let's get our champions all set up to do their auto battles in campaign while I do all the other piddly stuff on the account. So it is only just 7 campaign battles, which is not too bad here. We're gonna go with 4 start, and we'll run that in the background. All right, so there's a lot to do, a lot to pick up on. Start completing out this. Ezio, level 50, does feel pretty good. Not that I'm able to use him right now, but I have been just trying to complete a couple of his missions and stuff that I can do to get the rewards. Because, I mean, it's free rewards. I'm not legit using him or anything like that. So I do think it's at least a little fair just to try and get some of this type of stuff. I did technically use him in the event dungeon just to beat one of his missions, but I already beaten that stage of the event dungeon, so it didn't really think it mattered too much in my mind if I did so, just to complete some stuff and get the rewards. And I think you guys can completely understand that. I mean, it is my challenge that I made up, and it's one of those things too that, I mean, you guys could also do the exact same thing if you want to. Some of these rules are not like super hard. It's like hard and loot. Like there's some play in it in special circumstances, and this was just one of them in my mind that felt like it was worth it. Anywho, so what happened to me? Why didn't I record a video yesterday? Well, cancel. Well, to be honest, guys, I got home late, and the wife and I were sitting down. We were watching TV, and she stayed up later. Then, actually, I didn't get back late. I actually got off work early. I went to my dad's. I got the car fixed. Then we got home, but we did get home late from my dad's. So the kids went to bed a little bit later, but I was still home at like 8 or something like that. We were home at like 7. We had dinner. The kids went to bed by like 8:30, 9 o'clock-ish. But the wife and I sat down. We were watching some episodes of Criminal Minds together. We actually ended up watching like 2 or 3 episodes together, and she laid down on me and stuff like that. So it's just one of those things where it's kind of like, well, this is nice. I like spending the time with her and things like that. And by the time she was ready to go to bed herself, it was pretty late in the night. And I was like, I really don't feel like, I was really tired too. So I'm like, I don't feel like recording. It's 10 o'clock at night, or it's like 11:30 at night. I don't feel like recording, like getting everything set up. I don't mind doing it tonight because I already had everything set up. I recorded 2 other videos before this video. And so because of that, it was like kind of like a no-brainer type situation. I'm like, of course I'm gonna I'm going to work my way through. I'm also going to record this video and stuff like that. Like, that was always the plan. But last night, I had to get everything put together and things like that. It probably would take me like 10 minutes to get everything set up. And I know that doesn't sound all that bad, but it's not. It's just one of those things where it just was convenience. And that's all that it was. So, yeah, that's why y'all didn't get a video today. Not that I think anybody really cares or is desperately looking at like, oh, you didn't post a video, what happened? I'm not there yet at all. But we are, you know. But I think there are some people who definitely do enjoy enough and might question a little bit, especially when most of my stuff is daily. I will say I do appreciate the additional comments that have been happening recently. It's been very nice to interact again with people in the comment section. That's something I feel like I haven't done a whole lot in recent times on the channel. And so it has been nice to have those interactions and just seeing that and stuff like that. So I'm really grateful. Somebody commented on one of the live streams that I did asking for a link to a character guide or for a champion guide. I'm sorry, I keep saying character. I don't know if you're watching this video. I did comment on your comment. You gotta let me know what champion you're talking about so I can help you out there. Heck, I might be able to even do the guide on it. You don't know. No, I probably can't, but you know. I mean, it was one of the common champions I used. And it was a video, obviously the live stream was about the challenge I've been doing, which, guys, I officially have the first video of the challenge recorded. I did, like I said, I did that previous to this one. And that means I did mention in last video that I did post that I had managed to beat through the challenge so I could actually produce the first video and continue moving on into the next parts. And so I'm very excited for it and hoping things maybe go this as easy as this in the future. I really didn't actually spend too much time getting to where I was at, and that feels really, really good. And I hope I can kind of continue having that like luck or momentum going forward. I also hope, you know, between me and everybody here watching, I hope this series does well for the channel. This is something that I've been extremely excited about, have spent a decent amount of time thinking about and looking into and like really planning around. And so, you know, not that I don't mind spending the time. If like nothing comes out of it, then nothing comes out of it, because it was still good and important to me, and I still really got a lot out of it, and I loved doing it, and I'm gonna love continuing to do it because it is like a personal thing for me. But at the same time, I would hope that I can get other people to also partake in the joy that I'm experiencing from such things. So, yeah, I was in a weird little rut there. Somebody did comment on one of the videos that I had posted, and, you know, with having the 2-week hiatus there at the beginning of the year, it did put me in a weird momentum down spiral that it really was a situation of I just had to get back into it again. That's all that I just had to record again. I just had to pick it up and do it and continue doing it, and I'd kind of find my way. And it's very true. And I've done it, you know. For like the last couple of episodes or so, I really feel like I have found more and more of my momentum again with the game, and things have been going pretty lucky for me in terms of some polls and things like that, which I'm like super excited about. And so it's been just like a good time overall, and getting this challenge kind of underway too and everything. It really just has kind of put me back in a good like mental position to really keep, you know, pushing forward and things like that. And also getting the additional subs and whatever else has also been amazing, and that's always good for momentum as well, you know. Again, and I always say slash reiterate this, I am definitely not a person who's gonna strictly go out of their who's only just gonna look at and views and things like that for out of this, you know. It's just not me. It's not in my nature. I do get the people who do it. I was actually watching a video recently, and I forget the name of the guy. I literally just had it in my mind. I forget the name of the channel, but it is what? Oh, because the blessings underneath there. I understand. The guy's channel, I really, like I said, I really wish I could remember his name, but he's the guy who does things like what your dad should have taught you and stuff like that. If you've ever seen his stuff or heard of his channel, you guys will know immediately what I mean just from that line alone. But he's a guy that goes around and he literally talks about tips and tricks and things in life that people's parents should have taught them. And it really was what your dad should have taught you and whatever else. But it has changed. But he has other things like mom and stuff like that as well. And so, or your uncle and stuff like that. He's got just great channel, great vibes and stuff to listen to and whatever else. I'm just trying to find a good artifact to upgrade here. And I thought I had one to do on one champion. I guess I just didn't actually have it on them to do. I got more pieces figured out than I thought. And I'm just trying to scrolling around for any rinky-dink decent piece of artifact to do this with. And there might not even be one out there. I guess I'll do this. An accuracy chest plate, I guess, can't hurt too much. Speed on it. That's not bad either. So, but he was talking recently and was talking about the factor of if times are changing for him, and he's at a point now in which he's going to give YouTube and social media one last hurrah. He's going to change some things around about like what he's doing to kind of get there. Posting longer form content. He's like mainly a shorts content creator on all platforms, and he's going to be doing live streaming. And he's going to just give it like one last crack because he hasn't been getting the money and stuff that he needs. He took just a huge hit from TikTok and how they changed out how their content creators get paid, and you only receive so much from YouTube, and he makes nothing off of Instagram and Facebook. And so I feel awful for this guy who, like, this is his life, this is what he's been doing, and now he's been put in a pretty bad situation. And even when he was talking about it, he really hasn't been making like a ton of money from like YouTube. He says he makes like somewhere in the range of like $32,000 ish a year, which, I mean, on one hand, you do that from just making a couple of videos a month or whatever else is pretty good. But at the same time, it's like that's what I'm making roughly in a year. Working, you know, like doing like what I'm doing, and it's like most people, there's like social media really tends to follow a lot more in line with the people like making like big money and stuff like that from it. And it's like this jealousy factor of like, oh, they get to make all this money and stuff like that. And then the reality seeps in. Where it's like, it's not that way. That's just not how it truly is for most people. But all that to say, I'm not here for all of that. I've said this before, I'm going to say this again. I'll probably reiterate this every like 20 or 30 videos. I'm here for the community. I'm here for that. If I get money eventually, great. It's going to be put off to the side. It'll be put off into a college fund for my kids. It'll be put off into a vacation fund, emergency fund, a rainy day fund, things like that. That's where that majority of that money is going to go to. It's not going to be what my survivability is. My survivability is going to be my 9-to-5 job, quote unquote. I'm never going to not work. I always feel like it's important for people to work in society. If you want to do entertainment and entertain people and have that be your function in society, that's great. But there still needs to be people out there who work. And I would like to do both. I would like to be an online personality of entertainment, but I also want to be a part of the workforce. And I want to do what I can for the economy in that way and for my community and stuff like that. And so I'm okay. Even if I could make enough money someday off of YouTube to never need my 9-to-5 job and just do YouTube full time, I don't think I could ever do it. I don't. I feel like it's too important to work. And I also never want to be in a situation in which it's like what happens to him, in which the money's leaving and now I have to scramble to get a job and stuff like that. I don't want to have to worry about that. I want to keep the job. I want to keep the checks. I want to keep getting the pay raises. So if things do fall through, I'll fall through. It won't matter. I'll already have a job. I'll already have whatever already lined up. I could be making good money at that point in time because I've kept getting promotions and whatever else going along the way. And so yeah, sorry. It's become very ranty at the very end here. I do apologize. There is something I do want to show you on one of the champions, and then we will close up the video. So it's not going to take very long. We got, like I said, we got Stitched Beast the other day. We got Grave Chill the other day. I've not worked on Grave Chill at all, but you can tell I've been putting some work into Stitched Beast. I was watching a video. I watched one video, and the guy had him in like Perception, 2-set Perception, 1-set Fatal, and things like that. But he's like, you know, you could build them in like Relentless Gear, like that could be like an option and stuff like that. Just because of how some of his moves work with the turn meter decrease and stuff like that. Being able to cycle out his turns a lot more often could be very good for the champion. But there is also like something about like reflexive gear in the artifacts and stuff like that, or like in the accessories could be very good as well. And it just sounds like anything to kind of manipulate the amount of turns that this champion takes, the better off it'll be, because you can get to probably the turn meter reduction is the biggest thing sooner. And I'm like, well, let's see what I have for like Relentless Gear and kind of just messing around with an idea of a build. And some of the rolls I got on these pieces were pretty good, I feel like. And so I do want to show off the gear just a little bit, just to kind of see what other people think about the gear as well. And also what you think about this idea for this champion. I'm going to test him out this way for a little bit and see how he does. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. I'll switch up his gear eventually once I get better stuff to switch him into. That's probably the other thing too, is I really don't have like a lot of good perception gear and stuff right now to really try to build anybody in. Like I do have some pieces that could work temporarily and on like lower stuff, but I still want to mess around with other things as well and not just use like the few same gear sets. I want to be able to try and figure out certain things myself. And so the first one here, we have the weapon, which we got 1 accuracy roll and 2 crit rate rolls, which I thought not too shabby. We got some speed and a little bit of HP. I wish it was like HP percentage over flat rate HP, but still not bad. Then on the helmet, we got 1 crit rate roll, 2 attack percentage rolls. On the shield sucked the most, getting 1 crit damage, 1 crit rate, at which the flat HP would have gone into either the crit damage or the crit rate. It's not, or even into the HP percentage. It's not the end of the world because there is HP percentage on the piece, so it makes the roll not as bad. It's just not as good for HP scaling. Then we do have attack percentage gauntlets. I know technically speaking, I would be better off in crit rate gauntlets. I just don't have a good pair in Relentless, and I don't really have just a good pair in general for the things I was trying to mess around with and stuff like that. So this is what I went with. I mean, we are at 76% crit rate right now anyways, with no masteries. So we're pretty close to being where we want to be. That eventually we can fudge the numbers. Oh, the gauntlet was terrible. That's right. This gauntlet was awful. I feel like I rolled something really good recently, but now I feel like I'm lying to you guys. But yeah, this was bad. I wish this could have gone into accuracy or defense percentage. Then we got the accuracy chest plate with 2 rolls into crit rate, 1 roll into defense percentage. And we have the boots, which the boots are awful, but it's Slayer gear. I like the 9-piece because I like the Slayer gear because it does give the additional crit rate and crit damage into the champion. There is other options. I just don't think I have a lot of good pieces for those other options. I could just do something as simple as just switch it up and just do like crit rate set if I had good enough pieces to do that, which I really don't, and just take the crit rate on it. I could also try and go with just like a 2-piece accuracy set, getting good crit rate on the pieces, and try to go after more accuracy on the champion, which will be necessary for the champion. And like there's options, right? I do want to go through some of the other, so you see I'm not lying. My only other chest plate is an accuracy chest plate that doesn't really have any good stats into it unless I just roll strictly crit damage. I have these legendary boots here that are just flat rate HP that rolled badly. I mean, attack percentage, defense percentage is not horrible. I wish it was crit rate lands. I could roll this up to 12 and 16 and hope we get 2 rolls in crit rate, but I still don't think they'd be that worth it to have. And then this one is speed, but not great substats. And yeah. So this, I'm just not working with a whole ton right now. I'm getting there. But this is like a temporary idea. I also could have gone like Cruel, just gone for more attack and ignored the defense. But again, don't have a lot of good pieces for that either. Divine Shield could also be a consideration if I want to have them protect for a little bit with additional crit rate. I could someday just straight up just do Perception with attack percentage in the chest plate and hope for good crit rate rolls in the chest plate, and then speed boots with hopefully getting good crit rate rolls as well to make up the rest. And I could also just go with the Fatal. Once I get enough pieces inside the Fatal set, I could just go for a 2-piece Fatal set as well and get the attack and the crit rate that way. So, anywho, sorry, this video is now at 25 minutes long. I so totally do apologize, guys. I did not mean to have that happen. But thank you guys for watching and listening to me rambling on. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please hit the like button, comment down below, and subscribe to my channel. And I will see you guys in tomorrow's video and future videos very soon. Peace.